Marcus kicked at the rubble, his boot sending small rocks skittering across the metal floor with a clatter that echoed off the cold, dark walls of the outpost. "Damn piece of prehistoric junk!" he cursed loudly, slamming his fist against the side of the dormant drone. Eli glanced over, an eyebrow raised in amusement. "Keep your shirt on, boss. Bashing, it ain't gonna wake it up faster." In the dim light of a distant moon, remnants of humanity cling to survival. Marcus, a former aerospace engineer, leads a ragtag band of survivors who have stumbled upon an ancient Earth military outpost buried beneath the barren surface. As they activate the outpost's defense drones, the echo of Earth's forgotten technologies whispers promises of victory. But as alien warships descend, Marcus knows it's not just about surviving, it's about reclaiming their lost home. Marcus wiped the sweat from his brow, the dim light of the outpost's console flickering against his weathered face. The air was thick with dust, every breath a reminder of their desperate plight on this forsaken moon. Around him, the remnants of humanity scurried, clinging to the frail hope that this ancient Earth outpost held secrets worth uncovering. "Eli, check this out," Marcus called out, his voice echoing off the metallic walls. He stood before a massive console, its screens dormant yet imposing. Eli, with his grizzled beard and skeptical gaze, approached, his boots clanging on the metal floor. "What's this old relic gonna do for us, huh? Spit out a cup of joe?" Marcus smirked, despite the gravity of their situation. "Better, it might just save our asses. Help me get it running." Together, they pried open the control panel, wires and circuits greeting them like the innards of some ancient beast. Marcus's hands were steady as he rerouted power from their limited reserves. A spark flew, biting his hand. "Damn junk," he cursed, but a moment later, the screens flickered to life, bathing the room in a soft blue glow. "Holy hell, it worked," Eli muttered, his usual cynicism replaced by a flicker of awe. The main screen sputtered, then displayed schematics of what looked unmistakably like military drones. "These aren't just any drones," Marcus explained, scrolling through the data with a growing sense of purpose. "They're AI-powered military-grade leftovers from Earth's final stand." Eli leaned in, squinting at the technical jargon. "Can you make them work?" he asked, the usual bite in his tone softened by the hint of hope. "I can if they're still here. This says there's a hangar beneath us." Marcus's finger jabbed at a blinking section of the blueprint. With no time to lose, they navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the outpost, following the map displayed on Marcus's handheld device. The metallic echo of their footsteps was a constant reminder of the alien threats lurking just beyond their sanctuary. Reaching a sealed door marked with faded military insignias, Marcus paused. "Ready for whatever's on the other side?" "As I'll ever be," Eli replied, gripping his old rifle. With a deep breath, Marcus keyed in the override code. The door groaned, ancient hydraulics complaining before revealing a vast hangar. Inside, rows of drones stood dormant, like soldiers waiting for their marching orders. "Jackpot," Marcus breathed, stepping inside. He approached the nearest drone, its sleek design a stark contrast to their rugged surroundings. Eli followed, his earlier doubts replaced by a strategic mindset. "How many can you get online?" "Enough to put up a real fight," Marcus said, running his hand along the cold metal of the drone. These babies could level the playing field. Under the harsh artificial lights of the hangar, Marcus's team worked tirelessly. The mechanical whir of drones filled the air, a symphony of impending warfare as each unit slowly came to life. Eli patrolled the rows, his critical eye catching minor faults the others might miss. "Damn it, Riley, watch the wiring on that one. You want it frying its own circuits first time it boots?" Eli barked across the hangar. Riley, a younger crew member with more enthusiasm than experience, flinched but nodded, diving back into the guts of the drone with renewed precision. Marcus, meanwhile, interfaced with the central AI system, programming it with combat algorithms. The code flickered across his portable screen, lines of logic dictating life or death in the battles to come. "Marcus, you think these tin cans are up to snuff?" Eli asked, stepping beside him, his voice low. They're more than tin cans, Eli. These drones are top-tier military tech. Watch. Marcus tapped a command into the console, and the nearest drone stirred, sensors glowing like the eyes of some predatory beast. The drone lifted, hovering effortlessly a few feet off the ground. It executed a series of maneuvers, each movement precise and deadly. Marcus and Eli exchanged a look of muted triumph. "Shit, that's impressive," Eli admitted, his usual gruffness giving way to grudging respect. "But can they handle real combat?" "We'll make sure of it," Marcus replied, confidence edging his voice. "Load the combat simulations. It's time for a real test." As the team set up virtual targets throughout the hangar, Marcus pulled up the drone control interface. He selected a drone, taking manual control. The hangar transformed into a makeshift battlefield, holographic enemies appearing around them. "Engaging now," Marcus announced. The drone surged forward, its onboard weapons systems locking onto the first target. A simulated missile streaked across the space, striking the hologram precisely. One by one, the targets were neutralized. Eli, watching the display, couldn't help but smile. "I'll be damned. Earth might be gone, but she left us some teeth." The celebration was cut short by a warning from their perimeter sensors. Real enemy ships were approaching fast. "Looks like we're moving from simulations to live fire sooner than expected," Marcus said, tension lining his features. He turned to his team. "Lock and load, everyone. This is not a drill. Eli, coordinate ground defenses. I'll get our new friends here into the fight." "Got it, boss," Eli responded, already moving to his post. He keyed his comm, his voice all business. "All units, this is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Prepare for incoming." As the crew scrambled into positions, Marcus took a moment to look over the drones. These machines, remnants of a fallen Earth, were about to face their first real test in combat. He didn't just hope they were ready, he had to believe they were. The first warning blared through the outpost's alarms, as shadows cast by the alien crafts blotted out the dim light filtering through the moon's thin atmosphere. Marcus watched the radar, each blip an approaching dread. "Positions, everyone. This is what we've trained for." Marcus's voice was steel as it cut across the hangar's frantic energy. Eli, stationed at the command module, monitored troop placements. His hand hovered over the launch controls, a beat of silence that felt like an eternity. "On your go, Marcus." Marcus gave a curt nod, his eyes never leaving the screen. "Do it." With a heavy clunk and hiss, the hangar doors sealed, and drones, like a swarm of vengeful spirits, surged out into the open, their engines a roaring defiance. Marcus split his attention between the battlefield and the control screens, orchestrating a dance of death from above. As the first wave of alien fighters entered the drone's kill zone, the outpost's defenses lit up. Lasers seared through the vacuum of space, slicing into alien metal with precision, honed by Earth's finest tech and human desperation. "First, blood's ours," Riley shouted over the comm, the youthful exuberance a stark contrast to the grim undertones of their struggle. "Don't get cocky, kid." "They're regrouping." Eli's warning was timely. The enemy's return fire was brutal, a barrage that lit up the moon's surface, pockmarking it with new craters. "Shift to defensive maneuvers. Pattern Sigma," Marcus commanded, his fingers flying over the controls. The drones responded instantly, weaving a complex web that disoriented the enemy. But the aliens adapted quickly, their tactics evolving. A larger ship, heavily armored and bristling with weaponry, took the lead. "Shit, they're bringing out the big guns." "Marcus, we need a new play." Eli's voice crackled with static and urgency. Marcus's gaze flicked to a secondary screen, his mind racing. "Riley, you and the others focus on the small fry. Eli, prepare the EMP burst." "EMP? That's risky." "It'll fry our systems, too," Eli protested, but he was already setting it up. "Exactly," Marcus said, a grim smile tugging at his lips. "It'll level the playing field. On my mark now." The pulse went off, a silent wave that spread outward, invisible yet forceful. Both human and alien technologies faltered, screens flickered, and engines stalled, plunging the battlefield into a sudden, eerie silence. In the chaos, Marcus manually rebooted a drone, its systems coming alive under his experienced hands. Back online, Eli. How many did we lose? Fewer than I feared. Good call, Marcus, Eli responded, relief evident even through the static. With the alien behemoth temporarily disabled, Marcus seized the advantage. All units, target that capital ship. Full barrage, point-blank range. The drones, responsive once more, unleashed their fury. Missiles and lasers converged on the alien ship, which, unable to defend itself, suffered catastrophic damage, its hull rupturing, spewing debris into space. As the smoke cleared, Marcus watched the remaining alien fighters scatter, their main ship a ruin. He slumped back against his chair, the weight of command heavy on his shoulders, but lighter than a moment ago. We held them off, Eli. For today, this moon is still ours. Eli's chuckle was wary but proud. Hell, yeah, it is. Earth's tech and human grit, that's a combo they can't beat. In the aftermath of the skirmish, the outpost was alive with both celebration and somber reflection. The crew busied themselves with repairs and medical aid, their movements automatic, the result of too many battles fought and too many friends lost. Marcus walked through the hangar, his boots crunching on debris, inspecting the drones that had returned. Some were little more than charred frames, others awaited minor repairs. He stopped beside one drone, its side scorched. Patch it up, he told a technician, who nodded without looking up. Eli approached, his face shadowed with fatigue. We did good, Marcus, but they'll be back, and in greater numbers. I know, Marcus replied, running a hand through his hair. We need to strike now, take out their base before they have a chance to regroup. Eli raised an eyebrow. A preemptive strike? That's a bold move. We barely have enough firepower as it is. Marcus led him away from the others, lowering his voice. It's not just about firepower. We found something in the data archives last night, plans for an old Earth weapon. A disruptor that can take down a ship's shields permanently. Eli whistled softly. That's a game changer. How soon can we get it operational? Riley's working on it. If all goes well, we'll have it ready for a test run by tomorrow. Marcus's gaze was steely, determined. We'll hit them hard and fast. End this once and for all. That night, as the outpost's inhabitants tried to rest, the screen's glow illuminated his focused expression, the weight of upcoming decisions etching deeper lines into his face. The following morning, the crew gathered, sensing the shift in the air. Marcus and Eli stood before them, maps and plans displayed behind them. Today, we take the fight to them, Marcus announced, his voice resonant in the quiet hangar. We have a new weapon, thanks to some brilliant work by Riley and the tech team. It's our best chance to end this threat. Murmurs of assent and nervous glances exchanged among the crew, but the underlying resolve was palpable. We strike at 600 hours. Prep every drone and check every weapon. We can't afford mistakes, not today, Eli added, his usual gruffness underscored by an unusual solemnity. As the crew dispersed to their duties, make sure everyone's ready. I'm counting on you to keep them sharp. Eli clapped him on the shoulder, a rare gesture of camaraderie. You just focus on taking down that shield. Leave the rest to me. The pre-dawn hours were tense as drones were armed and strategies finalized. Marcus oversaw the final checks on the disruptor, its sleek design belying its destructive potential. As dawn broke over the barren landscape, Marcus's eyes never wavered from the control panel. The drones, now less than a few kilometers from the alien base, moved in perfect synchrony, a silent assault against the looming threat. Disruptors charged and ready. Riley's voice crackled through the calm, tense but clear. On my mark now. Marcus's fingers slammed down on the activation button. A pulse of energy surged from the disruptor, invisible yet potent, as it sped towards the alien shields. The waiting was the worst part, seconds stretched into infinity. Then, confirmation came. Direct hit! Their shields are down, Riley shouted, the relief palpable even through the static. Marcus allowed himself a half smile. All units, engage full offensive. Take out that base. The drones descended upon the alien outpost like avenging angels, their weapons unleashed in a fury of light and destruction. Explosions lit up the horizon, each one a hammer strike to the heart of the enemy's operations. Back at the human outpost, Eli monitored the progress, his hand tight around a spare radio. Looking good, Marcus. Keep the pressure on. We're not out of the woods yet, Marcus replied, eyes glued to the screens. The alien base, a complex network of buildings and defenses. True to his word, a flurry of enemy drones emerged from the beleaguered base, their designs sleek and deadly. We've got incoming, Marcus warned, switching several of their drones to defensive maneuvers. What followed was a chaotic ballet of aerial combat. Marcus's drones, outnumbered but not outmatched, dodged and weaved through the enemy fire. Each successful hit on an alien drone was met with a cheer from the control room, but the enemy was relentless. Suddenly, an alarm blared. One of their own drones had taken critical damage and was going down. Riley, redirect backup to Sector 7. We can't afford to lose any ground, Marcus ordered, his voice a calm command amidst the storm. Copy that, redirecting now. Riley's swift response helped stabilize the situation, but the battle was far from over. Then, the tide turned. A massive explosion from the heart of the alien base signaled the final blow. Marcus watched as the main reactor went up in flames, a brilliant burst of light that signified the end of the alien threat. Silence fell over the control room as the realization dawned on everyone they had won. Eli let out a long, slow breath. You did it, Marcus. You actually did it. We did it, Marcus corrected, allowing the full weight of their victory to settle in. We all did. As the crew emerged from the outpost, they were met with the first clear sunrise they had seen since landing on this moon. The alien debris scattered across the landscape was a stark reminder of the night's events, but there was beauty in the destruction, a promise of peace. Marcus stood among his people, their faces wary but filled with hope. Today, we fought not just for survival, but for all of humanity. Let this victory be a message across the stars. We are still here, and we are not going anywhere.